Outlaw Sports is brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada, and Rocky Mountain Barbecue, Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best. I want to talk to you about some of the surprises in the NHL, Grant. First and foremost that comes to my mind are the what they call the hangovers, the Stanley Cup hangovers. It looks like Vancouver, with that win over Washington, has shown some signs, but still not playing gritty enough hockey. And then on the other hand, you have the Boston Bruins, who are second last in the NHL after winning the Stanley Cup and really playing undisciplined hockey and haven't been scoring goals. Great goaltending, but it's just not enough. Everyone is talking about the hangover, but my God, I mean, this team just really taking a lot of penalties. I was reading an article in Boston. The writers are saying the referee, they figure the referees are out for Boston because they're playing too much old-time hockey, too rough, too physical. And maybe, perhaps, this is one reporter said, perhaps it's the league, you know, coming back to haunt them for the way they played against Vancouver. I thought it was pretty spectacular, but
pretty creative.
Pretty creative, but I thought it was also a pretty big stretch.
First of all, you can't call those surprises, can you? The hangover, we've seen that before. Sure. To me, what's happening to Vancouver and Boston, pretty much expected. If it drags on more into November, then it's a concern. Then I call it a surprise. To me, those two teams are too good. I mean, think of the Bruins and the Canucks. They played till almost the end of June. I guess the middle of June, and then you start cranking up your training program. I guess in July, August. I don't know. So to me, what's going on is not a surprise. I think they're going to be okay. What did surprise me, I heard this week that the Bruins are looking for more scoring. I thought that was a bit of a surprise. They're looking for some scoring help. One name. I thought they were a pretty good scoring team. One name, and this is one name that just kind of blew me away, was Rene Bourque. That name has popped up in Boston. I go, gee, you guys are looking for scoring. This guy is as inconsistent scoring as anybody. But he can. But everybody's been holding on to that he can label for a long time. But Rene Bourque, but that's the thing. But who'd you give up for that? Well, the Flames need prospects and picks. Yeah. So if the Bruins have that, if the Bruins have that, then as I said to you before, I would trade anybody on the Flames if you're getting quality prospects, quality picks back to build for the future. I say do it. So Rene Bourque, I do it, Mike. I would make that pick. Here's my surprise team. Okay. My surprise team's not the Ottawa Senators, who've been on a winning streak. Sure. Not the Leafs, who've been very, very good right now. Not Colorado, who's been very good. Dallas Stars, yeah, maybe a bit of a surprise. Pittsburgh Penguins. Because they're good without the two stars. Very good without the two stars. Not just good. Without Malkin in and out of the lineup, more out of the lineup recently. Sidney Crosby not there. Jordan Staal sometimes playing. This team has been phenomenal. We've talked many times in sport about the importance of coaching or the non-importance of coaching, that coaches are overrated. Clearly, Dan Bylsma must be doing something right in his coaching staff, because without those star players, the Pittsburgh Penguins, at the beginning of this week, are the #1 team in the Eastern Conference, and that impresses me. Big time. And they lost some players, and they just didn't, This James Neal guy, when they made that trade with the Dallas Stars, I knew he was an okay player, a good player, but I think he's got 9 goals or something like that. He's a phenomenal player. So I guess a lot of people don't realize that beyond Crosby, Malkin, and Jordan Staal, the best 3 centers of any team in the league, this team has depth. One other team you have to point out, though, Grant, is the team up north, and those young kids. A lot of people just thought, okay, a repeat of last year, but here they are, sitting near the top. I think people like the Oilers better this year. Taylor Hall has a second year. Eberle's got a second year. But to add a guy like Ryan Smith, perfect addition to that team, don't you think? Sure. Because that's what the Oilers were missing. They had that youth, they had the talent last year, but didn't have enough, solid parts around them. The exact opposite to the Flames. The Flames have a lot of old parts that are good character guys, but not enough guys like Roman Horak or young skills. So, yeah, the Oilers are a bit of a surprise. I'm impressed by them. They're fun to watch. They can really dangle with that puck, and that's what you got to see more of. And team defense has improved, and goaltending has improved. Happy Bullen. That was the best line I heard in sports last week by Glenn Healy. Do you like Glenn Healy, Hockey Night in Canada?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He said, he said, Habib Boulin is proving that goalies need more DUIs.
Oh my God.
Of course, he had a DUI in Phoenix, was thrown in jail or prison down there, that outdoor prison where they all go.
With that walking tall sheriff.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe he's a changed man right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a veteran guy. He's won a Stanley Cup with Tampa Bay.
Sure.
Smart aleck comment by Glenn Healy, but I thought it was a great comment because Habib Boulin is backstopping that team, and the Oilers are a bit of a surprise.
You know, when we're talking about surprises, Brzgalov in Philadelphia, here's a surprise to me.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, there's a lot of things. He looks like he's lost. He's lost all of his confidence. He looked a little bit better Saturday night when they defeated Carolina 5-1. But here's a guy that he's struggling with the puck, giving up way too many rebounds, and instead of challenging at the top of the crease, if you watched him, Grant, he's back hiding in the crease, and at one point in 4 games, and this was before the Winnipeg blowout, where it was 9-8 and they lose to Winnipeg, he gave up 17 goals in 4 games. So he was a hurting puppy.
Yeah.
Will one game change it? I don't know.
I thought his post-game interview after that 9-8 loss to Winnipeg was incredible, where he said, I don't know, he got that high voice, and I'm lost in the woods. And I thought he was hilarious and almost overly frank, almost too honest.
Yeah.
You know, I'm embarrassed, all this kind of stuff, but he did rebound. And who did they beat? 5-1.
Carolina.
They beat Carolina 5-1 it was. But, you know, I mean, in Phoenix, Dave Tippett, the head coach down there, said, you know, that guy should never get out of that crease, never get out of that net. Don't touch the puck. So he's got to be told again, don't do that. Just play the style you play when you're successful in Phoenix, because you're absolutely right. The things, when he tries to do more, he isn't very good.
Yeah.
He's a crazy guy. I mean, I remember interviewing him down here in Calgary. He's a different Russian guy. But he's making a lot of money right now. Perhaps he'll settle down a little bit. Perhaps he thinks he's got to do too much with the Flyers being the big savior. He's going to be okay.
$51 million worth of crazy, Grant.
And I'm lost in the woods.
Tired of going to redneck barbecues? Well, you better call Rocky Mountain Barbecue. Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best. Great tasting food, clean and efficient service. Check us out online or call Rocky Mountain Barbecue.